Everybody get your fucking hands up.
The idea behind fast food is great. People want convenience. The hard part about following your purpose is the distraction everyone pulls you toward. Nikola Tesla, one of Colorado's famous residents, always believed that the gasoline engine made no sense. I joined the board of Chipotle because no company has ever been able to scale fresh, properly sourced food in the history of America. I had this attitude, that silly, highly obnoxious attitude, that I know what I'm doing, and the rest was going to be pretty easy. Food never ends. It's one of the greatest things about working on food. We're always going to need food. It's only a risk if you think there's a chance of failure. The kitchen was a really great concept. It just wasn't at the price point that made it accessible to people. People could visit occasionally, and some people were coming regularly. It just wasn't a novel concept for every customer. The support we received at Oniriat from the beginning has been amazing. Everyone's door was open, and everyone was rooting for our success. In turn, our team at Oniriat has done everything we can to return the favor. You should brine your turkey. Don't even think about not brining your turkey ever. We have been growing more food than we need since the 60s. What we have is a terrible distribution problem. People love to interact in real time, whether it is with each other or with content. Nikola Tesla spent one of his most productive years in Colorado Springs. If you're a vegan fast food joint in law, you just don't speak the same language as the heartland. My advice for any entrepreneur or innovator is to get into the food industry in some form, so you have a front row seat to what's going on. At Tesla, we don't go into a community and think we're going to sell 1 or 2 cars. Tesla Motors' original business plan had a copy of a letter from Nikola Tesla from the late 19th century talking about the challenges inherent in gasoline engines and the promise of the electric engine. As a South African, the idea of turkey was new to me and confusing. It's about the least flavorful bird on the planet. After my accident, the stuff that mattered was stuff that made a difference in the world, not the stuff that made money. I really believe that people don't have to eat healthy. They just have to know what they are eating, and then they'll eat better. That is really a movement we are behind. Memphis is a vibrant and diverse city that is on the verge of a real food renaissance. We are more than thrilled to be part of that movement by investing in the Crosstown and Shelby Farms Park developments. Back in 1995, I saw an incredible wave coming. The internet. I knew I needed to be a part of it no matter what I did. I went to New York to train as a chef, and I had the good or bad fortune, depending on how you describe it, of being right there during 9/11s. It was one of the best and the worst experiences. The problem is not actual number of calories we are producing. We have food waste issues. The problem is industrial food. '21st century food is going to be real food. Real food is food that is truly nourishing for the consumer, the community, and the planet. The kitchen's mission is to strengthen communities by bringing local, real food to everyone. We want our communities to know what real food is. We want kids and communities to know real food, and we want them to have a choice between real food and industrial food. If you've ever done something you love and go do something you like, it's like chewing on sawdust. If you come to the kitchen and get a pork chop with polenta, which is our kind of food, simple, there is only one way it should taste at the kitchen. My goal is to go from the industrial food system toward a real food system where you understand what you are eating. My family were all entrepreneurs, including my parents and grandparents. My mother was a consulting dietitian, and my father was a consulting engineer. Newspapers have an extraordinary amount of local content, including real estate listings and restaurant reviews. The problem is that restaurants have assumed that kids don't want to eat anything other than chicken nuggets or fast food, burgers, but they do. They want to eat things that taste good. Boulder should be next to the word community in the dictionary. The kitchen, which my wife and I opened with our friend and amazing chef Hugo Matheson, was quickly recognized as the pioneer and green restaurants across the country. Boulder was not the small town I had expected. It is a vivacious community of sophisticated people who have the same aspirations and expectations you find in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. But for a few twists of fate, the gasoline engine we know today might have just been a small footnote in history. I have always loved food, and for me, even if I was on a beach, I would be cooking food every day. I was very afraid of failure, because if you fail at something you love, then you ruin what you love. My brother is about energy. SpaceX is his passion, and I love being a part of that. Compton Energy is where he spends a lot of his time and thinking in terms of having an impact on the world. For me, creating a supply chain of what we should be in is incredibly complicated. It's complicated to figure out how to change the food system in America. The one lesson I've learned from technology and food is the only time you know you're doing the wrong thing is when you're doing what everyone else is doing. I was totally humbled by how hard it is to create a product every day that needs to be made from scratch. The problem with industrial food is zero transparency. The system thrives on the fact that there is no transparency. Growing up, I cooked in the house, and when I cooked, everyone would sit down and eat, and it was just kind of the way I connected with my family. I used to throw cooking parties in university. Everyone would come over. Sometimes you just do a mac and cheese, but if you do that better than everyone else, you can get people to come to you. When you think about basketball and you watch someone like Michael Jordan play basketball, even if you're a baseball player, there's still a lot to learn from there. I'm going to work on food culture and help food become fun and part of people's lives again. The traditional restaurant is more commercial oriented, but I want community through food. It's pretty rough in South Africa. It's a rough culture. Imagine rough. Well, it's rougher than that. The best training ground in the world is Silicon Valley and the tech space. You bring people together with food. You connect them and tie the fabric of society together through food. Anyone who thinks restaurants are hard should try working at a tech company. We're social beings, and food is one of the things we can use 3 times a day to connect with family or with friends. A lot of people think about food as fuel where you need to get nutrients in your body. Users are open to ads as long as they're relevant to their real-time experience. Advertisers really want to create ads that are relevant to the real-time experience. Real-time ads are the perfect way for an advertiser to connect with users in a social environment. The question is not why advertise in real time. The question is, who are the brands and businesses that are going to be built off the real-time web? Using real-time ads, even mortgage companies can create ads that matter to you right now. Square Roots creates campuses of climate control, indoor, hydroponic vertical farms right in the hearts of our biggest cities. It is an interesting thing. Every time I try and stray from the path of food, I get wet. Young people, especially, are turning away from McDonald's towards healthy, locally sourced options like Next Door and Sweetgreen. Microwave sales have plateaued as people realize that reheated TV dinners give us no joy. The reality is that we connect through food, and we have the opportunity to do it 3 times a day. People are overweight and starving at the same time. It's a tragedy for both the individual and society.